What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here to share some Survivor Series thoughts. And I'm going to tell you that in one very, very specific way, WWE dropped the ball, but that does not stop this from being a fantastic pay-per-view. So I haven't written any notes. I'm only doing this because I had the day off work today, and I figured I could come talk to you guys for a couple minutes before Raw tonight. Let's go through the show quickly, because I got no notes. I got, like, see, the clipboard is empty. I got nothing. Starting with the kickoff. On the kickoff, on the panel, you had Paul Heyman doing everything he could to big up the main event, to big up Wyatt versus Ambrose, to keep himself and Brock Lesnar relevant, obviously, because Cena-Lesnar is going to be a thing, whether people like it or not. Great addition to the panel. A lot of backstage stuff and a lot of video packages that we've already seen. Let's be real. We know what the kickoff is. It's a big, gigantic 1-hour ad for the pay-per-view, which is fine. But we did get 2 matches. People were complaining, we did not get the Bunny versus Adam Rose on the kickoff, which I know everybody was complaining, and yeah, you're right. You know, nobody wants to see the Adam Rose versus the Bunny on the kickoff, do they? Really? And we didn't get that. We did, however, get the revamped, the new and improved Fandango versus Justin Gabriel. Nice to see Justin Gabriel getting some TV time, first of all. Second of all, they've taken the ballroom dancer gimmick and made it sort of like a Mexican spicy salsa dancer gimmick, which is fine. He's got Rosa Mendez, who starts their dance routine by herself in the ring, whereas before they had the curtain and the big outline thing. They've gotten rid of all that, and then he makes the run in and runs to her. It's very, very reminiscent of the movie Dirty Dancing, for those of you that are old enough to even remember that movie. I'm dating myself, I know. Guys, it's my birthday soon-ish. In 2 days, less than a month from now, I will be 32, so I'm allowed to know old shit. But the match was great. Fandango, for all the gimmick complaints people want to give him, he showed a hell of a lot more aggression in this match than he has in a long time, and the match was good. Justin Gabriel played his part. The guys on commentary making fun of his skeleton outfit, which honestly looks like he stole it from La Parka, and I don't really get it either, but Justin Gabriel on my TV is never a bad thing, is it? We got Jack Swagger versus Cesaro. We got promos from Cesaro and from Zeb Colter. Zeb Colter doing the typical hoorah, we the people, which is great. Cesaro being the typical heel and sucking up to Team Authority, assuming that they're going to win tonight. Great match. People are upset that Swagger won. He's the babyface, and it's the pre-show, so you want to make people feel good, so they buy the show, so it makes sense. Get over yourselves. One thing broke my heart about this match. We didn't get from Jack Swagger the almost Hogan leg drop, which really bummed me out. But then we got Cesaro making up for it with all of his Benoit plexes, which just made me smile a whole lot. Swagger gets the win. Great match. We see Vince McMahon pulling up in his limo to end off the pre-show. We start the actual show proper with a promo from Vince and Triple H and Stephanie and John Cena. And Triple H and Stephanie think, oh, we're going to lose and get fired, but Daddy will just hire us back again, or we'll just go to our offices in Connecticut and just fuck with you from there. Vince is like, no. If you lose, you don't ever get to have any direct impact on anybody on the roster ever again. Okay. Everybody's great there to see. When they're doing the sucking up to Vince, it's great because the crowd does start a Vince chant, which is good, because at this point, Vince isn't a heel. Even if he sides with Triple H and Stephanie at this point, he's not a heel. He's not around enough for us to be invested in hating him, and he is ultimately the creator of this kingdom that we're all living in. So people are getting to the point now where they want to respect Vince, or at least show appreciation for what the actual man Vince McMahon has done. So giving them the chance to chant Vince, 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 while we know they're just sucking up, it worked on every level. And obviously the promo was ruined by John Cena, and yeah. And then we get the added, as if we didn't have enough stipulations already, we have the, if the Authority loses, they don't have power anymore. If Team Cena loses, the whole team gets fired except for John Cena. Now the added stipulation is, if Team Authority loses, they're out of power, and the only one that can bring them back is John Cena. Now, this can only be used in the future to make John Cena heel. That could really be the only purpose that this serves, right? Right. We started off with the tag team title match, which was fantastic. And as I said in my preview video, Los Matadors, in a spotlight that they don't typically get, did pull their weight. Obviously, Goldust and Stardust are great. Obviously, the Usos are pretty comfortable sitting sort of unofficially on top of the division, and Miz and Mizdow are comical as they are. The great story throughout all this, because everybody's suddenly gotten behind Sandow because of this goofy copycat gimmick, it frustrated both Sandow and the fans that none of the other 7 people in this match wanted to tag in Sandow. So, obviously, he gets frustrated, the fans get frustrated, the cheers get louder. Sandow tagging himself in at the end of the match and getting the win for him and Miz got a huge pop. In the middle of the match, there was a 4-person Tower of Doom side suplex from the top rope. That's the best way I can describe it. And The Miz, after the win, grabbing both belts and talking about how this is a win for me and a win for you, but you're my stunt double, so really this is 2 wins for me. That was what he said in his interview before the match. And he proved it at the end of the match when he posed on top of the belt, or on top of the turnbuckle, with both belts. For those of you that were a fan of Team Hell No, this is I Am the Tag Team Champions done properly. But also made me think of something else, because he would raise his hands with the belts, get booed, and Damien Mizdow would raise his hands on the other turnbuckle and he would get cheered. It made me think, not nearly on the same level, obviously, but it made me think of when CM Punk won the title, left the company. John Cena won the bullshit belt off Rey Mysterio. Cena raised his belt in the air, everybody booed. Punk did it and cheered. Cena did it, they booed. Punk did it, they cheered. It was the same thing. It was the same idea here. Obviously not the same investment as CM Punk with the fans, but I mean, Sandow's getting there, and Miz is the tag team champions. Let's just put it out there, because Sandow is his employee. What was next? Ambrose and Rollins. Ambrose and Rollins was fantastic. Ambrose and Rollins, people use the term all the time. When there's 2 heavyweights in the ring, like Big Show, Mark Henry type thing, people always use the cliche, it's like 2 Mack trucks running into each other. These guys had that same effect, that same stiffness, that same impact, not being super heavyweights. It broke the typical mold of a wrestling match, because we all know you throw your guy, he comes off the ropes, you come back, he counters. Whereas it's like, no, you threw the guy, he followed your own motions right into the ring and elbowed you before you even got a chance to get any momentum. There was a lot of little things like that. There was brawling on the outside, which was great, and there was just such good chemistry between Ambrose and Wyatt. You knew this was going to be a match or a feud that was going to go more than one match. The psychology of it, Bray Wyatt, what was I going to say there? Bray Wyatt doing the same thing that he did to John Cena at WrestleMania, handing Dean Ambrose a chair and saying, "Go for it, hit me, go for it," and playing with him, and gets on a microphone and he's cutting a promo on Dean Ambrose while they're fighting. It's not only have I beaten you down to the point where I have time to grab a microphone, I'm going to talk some shit. And I'm confident in talking some shit because you're down. And he gives him the chair and he goes down on his knees. Please do it, please do it. Because you know, if Ambrose releases the beast on all over Bray Wyatt's face with that chair, there's 2 victories there. Because he's broken Dean Ambrose, and much less of a point, but he's also won the match. Dean Ambrose does. He does. He nails him in the gut, nails him in the back. There would have been a nice headshot if this wasn't the PG era. Gets disqualified, and then mauls him like crazy. Beats him down with the chair. Puts him through the gets a table. Elbow drops from the table. Forgot to mention, one of the coolest things in this match was that Ambrose pulled off a Shawn Michaels style elbow on Bray Wyatt, except Bray Wyatt was standing, which made it look really, really ugly in a good way. Made the contact look very, very uncomfortable, is the best way to put it. And you know, when you're dealing with 2 guys whose thing is that they're very unstable, reckless guys, making the crowd feel uncomfortable is one of the effects that you're going for. But after the match, he elbows him through the table, puts another table on top of him, buries him in chairs and chairs and chairs and chairs, and then he's finally removed by the all the officials, all the security and referees and all that. But then you see that little glint in his eye, and you see the tables, and you see the chairs, and you know that there's only one thing missing. He pulls out the giant Jeff Hardy style ladder, puts it up in the ring, and here's the little tiny letdown. The little tiny letdown is that Dean Ambrose climbs up this big gigantic ladder and poses. I mean, we all know what this is setting up for, and it's confirmed later on in the night that in 3 weeks we're going to get Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose in a TLC match at TLC. So for those guys out there, once again, that say that the NXT guys don't get chances to main event pay-per-views, Rollins Ambrose at Hell in a Cell, Ambrose Wyatt at TLC, and all the guys that were involved in the main event tonight. But it would have been so sweet, just a big pile of rubble on top of Dean Ambrose, on top of Bray Wyatt. If he had just dropped that elbow from the table onto all of it, that would have just sealed the deal, and that would have been the graphic, the image you would have seen going into TLC. But that's a minor nitpick on my part. This match was fantastic. The main event that people were bitching about, oh, this and that, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, we don't want John Cena to exist. This match, as far as a Survivor Series match, is one of the better ones I've seen in the past. I'm not going to, oh my god, it's the greatest Survivor Series match in history. No, it's clearly not. But that being said, this was a fantastic match. It proved so many things. It let so many things happen. We got a precursor of Ryback and Rusev, and both of those guys got to look fantastic. We got our first tastes of Rowan versus Harper, which was fantastic. We got to see John Cena get laid out by his own teammate and smile, and have John Cena not be a factor in the final decision of the match. We got to see what we knew we were going to see, which was Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins square off. Not only that, they were the two sole survivors for their teams. When it got down to 3 on Ziggler, and Ziggler took out Kane, and Ziggler took out Harper, which is good storyline progression because he stole his title, went head to head for quite a bit after that with just Seth Rollins. And is this not one of the fantasy pay-per-view matches that we've had for a long time? Rollins versus Ziggler. And so many near falls. Triple H coming in at the end, the Stooges 2.0 coming in at the end. Triple H's pedigrees Ziggler, sets it up so that Rollins is about to get the pin with the specially selected Scott Armstrong referee, and then the lights go out. Oh yes, and then the lights go out, and we get Sting. I don't like that he has new music. Just let me put that out there. Another thing, I know it's a little tiny nitpick, and it shouldn't bug me at all, and it doesn't take away from the moment at all. But if you just had that string music that we know from WCW, they even use it in the WWE 2K15 promo with all the orchestral players having the same Sting makeup and whatever. If they had kept that music, I think it would have completed the image. But no, it's fine. They come down, he stares down Triple H for a long ass time. Triple H, for a while, is the same as a couple years ago when he was being stared down by the Undertaker. He's just got that blank stare, and then eventually his lip kind of curls, and he's kind of disgusted that his activity has been interrupted like this. He takes one swing at Sting, which doesn't go anywhere, ends up in the Scorpion Death Drop. Sting drops Ziggler on top of Rollins. Ziggler gets the win, which is what everybody wanted. Authority is out. Sting leaves, no explanation, and the Authority have a temper tantrum in the ring to close the show. Fantastic. Top to bottom, great card. Right, I've left a few things out. I've left a few things out, and what I am going to say, for those of you that are waiting for me to say something bad about the WWE dropped the ball with the Divas division on this pay-per-view harder than I have seen them do in a while. You guys know I'm a fan of Paige, you know I'm a fan of AJ. Neither one of my gripes here are the fact that they lost. I don't have a problem with Paige losing. I don't even really have a problem with AJ losing, but I'll get to that in a second. You have a 4-on-4 Survivor Series match, which I believe was Natalya, Emma, Alicia Fox, Naomi, versus Paige, Layla, Summer Rae, and Cameron. First problem with this match. There's some good talent in that match, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of dead weight in that match. So the eliminations, the first 4 eliminations should have been to get rid of all the dead weight. Get rid of Layla, Get rid of Alicia Fox. Get rid of Cameron. And yes, get rid of Naomi. I know she's the new popular person to like. I know it's like Daniel Bryan when he first entered into the WWE and nobody gave a shit, but one or two people just to look different would be like, no, he's good. No, he's good. Or even the more popular one that I've heard recently, oh, nobody backs the Funkadactyls because wrestling fans are racist. Suck a dick. Bring it down to Natty and Emma versus Summer Rae and Paige. Because if you wanted to have Paige lose, I would not mind seeing Paige lose to the sharpshooter from a veteran like Natty. I wouldn't mind if there was, you know, dissension on the heel team. Summer Rae turns face somewhere in the process. Summer Rae turning face costs Paige the match. Then you've got a cool rivalry right there. You got Emma, who you haven't really done anything much with yet. If it came down between Paige and Emma, which is not only a great match from the history of NXT, but two people that can genuinely go in the ring and can put on a great match for the last few minutes, even if you wanted to have the feel-good moment, you know, the plucky new babyface Emma takes down the psychotic heel Paige, I wouldn't have minded that at all. But it was an effortless, clean sweep by the babyfaces with so much botching by the supposedly great Naomi, and what won them the match was an ass to the face and a headlock in the crotch. That DDT leg thing that Naomi does, that everybody thinks is so great. Basically, the only reason WWE does that is so that you've got one girl's head in another girl's crotch, and all the 14-year-old boys go, ooh, lesbians, 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 lesbians. So that, combined with a fat ass to the face, took out one of the most prominent divas you've got in your company right now. As I say, Naomi, who botched all over the shop tonight, was the victor. And it was just no. And even Alicia Fox, who admittedly has been getting better, caught Naomi-itis and was botching all over the shop. The four best workers in that match, three of them went down. Or sorry, no. Two of them went down and two of them weren't involved in the victory. Natty, okay, Natty is a veteran. She's kind of past the point of they're going to make her a main diva. She's sort of helping everybody else. But it would have been cool to give her a meaningful victory like this. Emma, like I said, is just coming up. A victory over Paige after the rivalries that Paige has just gotten off of with AJ Lee could have done cool things for Emma. Even if Paige had been eliminated and Summer Rae took out somebody like Natty, even if you want to base it on Total Divas, whatever. There were so many missed opportunities in this match. It's unreal. Naomi, isn't that great? I'm just saying. Go back and watch this match. Take your blinders off. Try to leave bias at the door and tell me why Naomi was great in this match and why she deserved to get the ultimate win for her team with a big ass to the face. Oh, no, no, no. Now, as far as the Divas Championship picture goes, as I said, I don't mind that AJ lost. I don't mind that Nikki won. Nikki has been making leaps and bounds in both her character and her ability in the ring recently, so if she had had a decent, well-fought match and beaten AJ, no problem. If they had had a decent, well-fought match and Brie turns heel, attacks Paige, and she gets the title, no problem. Brie wants revenge on Nikki, so she attacks Nikki. Paige gets disqualified and loses. No problem. You want to reveal that the sisters have been working in collusion all along, and they double-team Paige before the match. Or, sorry, AJ before the match, and she gets beaten down and loses as a sympathetic babyface. No problem. But what did they do? They did the kiss moment. And yes, again, I'm not going to shy away from Brie Bella and AJ Lee making out on my TV screen. No problem whatsoever, but here is the point. Here is the problem that I've had for a long time, and here is the deal. Here is what WWE has done since WrestleMania. WWE has used the Divas division to keep Daniel Bryan in the back of our minds. They've used the Divas division because they chant yes at Brie. They don't, chant anything at Brie that's specific to Brie. They chant Daniel Bryan's chant at her. They even have her come out in Daniel Bryan shirts occasionally with the thing tied around the waist. Now, if she was just doing whatever she was doing and happened to have a Daniel Bryan shirt on, it's her husband. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But Stephanie, in wanting to take out Brie, did nothing but reference Daniel Bryan all over the shop, mocking the yes chants. Nikki did the same thing. Nikki talks about their personal life and how her sister married a goat and yada yada yada. And then we have the kiss, which is a direct rip of WrestleMania, what was it, 27, when Daniel Bryan got the boot in the face that he deserved after kissing AJ. So we're going to remind everybody of Daniel Bryan once again. The Divas Championship has been reduced to a prop to remind us of Daniel Bryan, who may never be coming back. And for that, you're sacrificing the best diva on the roster. As I say, I have no problem with her losing. I really don't. And if this is her punishment for wanting to leave and be with her husband, that's a whole nother layer of bullshit that I don't even want to touch right now. I really don't. Because if any of this has anything to do with her being married to CM Punk, there will be another video, and that's the end of that. But no. No, we have to pretend that AJ is Daniel Bryan. We have to pretend that Brie is AJ. We have to... Okay, so Nikki is Sheamus in this situation. That's no good for anybody. But instead of... If you're going to have her lose, go down in a blaze of glory, even have her taken out, like I say, by the two Bella twins, by the Big Bella conspiracy, or by, you know, Brie has to because Nikki made her, or have somewhat of a decent match where you want to make us believe that Nikki actually is better than AJ. None of those were even considered. None of those were even considered. So many missed opportunities because the Divas division was used to remind us of Daniel Bryan, who may not be coming back. And let's be real, when he does come back, he's going to be handed a title shot anyway. We don't need reminders. We really, really don't. For all the people out there that don't want us to chant CM Punk because he's gone and probably not coming back, but the yes chants are okay for Daniel Bryan, who's gone and might not be coming back. I hate to break it to you. Anyways, like I said, these are two little things that bug me about this show. Two major opportunities, two major instances where WWE absolutely dropped the ball. Horrible? No. Do I hate it? Am I going to scream from the rooftops? No. Is it going to make me turn off WWE? Am I going to go unsubscribe from the WWE network? No. It's two little things where they dropped the ball. Otherwise, this was a fantastic show, guys, as I knew it would be, and as you all, whether you want to admit it or not, knew this was going to be a good show. The debut of Sting, the showcasing of guys like Rollins and Ziggler and Ambrose and Wyatt, the push of Miz and Sandow is great. Two little bad moments do not a bad show make, and if Adam Rose and the Bunny is enough to ruin a pay-per-view for you, then just stop watching. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Two things. To those of you that have joined me as I've been tweeting the live shows, thank you. It's been a lot of fun. I've been back on Twitter more than usual. One more day to get me some questions for my Q&A, because I'm probably doing it tomorrow. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.
Like me.